What is a completely random fact? When a Viking received a gut wound, they would be fed strong onion soup. After some time, someone would smell the wounds elsewhere on their body. If they smelled like onions, there was damage to the intestines and no chance of saving them. That is pretty ingenious tbh. It's safe and effective. Also, their understanding of human anatomy was pretty decent too. I would not be in the mood for soup after being stabbed in the stomach. Penguins have an organ above their eye that converts salt water into fresh water. Ladies and gentlemen, we have solved the freshwater crisis. Found out how to make water not vegan. Squid brains are donut shaped and their esophagus runs through it. If a squid eats something too big it can get brain damage. I would be a real dumb squid. That's why Squidward's always so pissed. He has to cut all his food into tiny pieces which takes ages. Edit. I understand now that Squidward is an octopus. Please stop commenting that. That must be why he went so loopy after eating all those Krabby Patties. When little Squiddy made a meal of all his favorite fish, he said, "Oh how I love to feel my beak upon a dish. I love to taste a sample sweet. I love to feed and dine. I love to savor feasts replete with flavors all divine. To gulp," said he, "to sip, to swig, to munch, to crunch." He cried. But Squiddy's meal was rather big. And Squiddy fucking died. Ants have a terminal velocity of 1.778 meters per second. This means they can fall from any height and not harm themselves. No fall damage. That's so unfair. Humans have x100 fall damage of ants, but also x100 strength and speed. We also have a magnifying glass cheat code. 20% of US power outages are caused by squirrels. The Ice Age was also started by a squirrel. Goddamn Scrat. He also made global warming, continental drift and collision course. Don't even get me started on the baby. When roosters make their sound, their ears close up so that they won't become deaf. Edit. Wow. They don't have to listen to their own bullshit? Those sadistic jerks. Sounds like the same genetic mutation all politicians have. We can call it rooster syndrome. No wait. Cock syndrome. Why bother with syndrome? That implies that there may be a treatment. Cock. The treatment is them shutting the fuck up. At one point in time, all the details of the Manhattan Project were in 3 safes, each locked with the code 27, 18, 28. Mathematicians would of course recognize these numbers as the Euler number, 2.71828, a number that has wide importance in calculus. Physicist Richard Feynman was able to crack into these safes after snooping around the secretary's desk and finding the number pi, 3.14159. After thinking, why would a secretary need to know the value of pi, he deduced it was probably a code, so he tried it on the safes. After they didn't work he tried other numbers that mathematicians and physicists would use and sure enough, it worked. After he got into the safes he thought to pull a prank on the director by leaving little notes in the safe to scare the director into thinking that a spy had gotten in. Just adding some more fun facts about this. He needed to get in because he had a report due and the library was closed. That office was the only other place the files he needed were stored. He had a hobby of cracking safes around Los Alamos. One corporal or something had a $25,000 safe installed in his office that the installers had a hell of a time getting up the stairs, and that asshole never bothered to change the original code it came with. Surely you're joking. Mr. Feynman is amazing and hilarious. Highly recommend. One corporal or something had a $25,000 safe installed in his office that the installers had a hell of a time getting up the stairs, and that asshole never bothered to change the original code it came with. Or, you left out the funniest part. Although I guess that raises the problem of whether you're allowed to abridge a Feynman anecdote. A general did the same thing, and Feynman sat him down and gave him a serious talk about the very real security problems at Los Alamos, and how easy it was for him to get into safes, and how it could all be prevented with a simple policy change, enacted by a single memo from the top. The next day, there was a memo to everyone, from the general, under no circumstances is Richard Feynman to be allowed in anyone else's office without being directly supervised. Security problem solved. Muppets singing Bohemian Rhapsody is the first ever video on YouTube with 1080p quality. This is important, and I hope my kids will read about it in textbooks. The tallest building in the state of Wyoming is a college dorm. Why build up when you can just build out? God, I miss living in Wyoming. There was practically no one around. It was great. More fun facts. There are 2 sets of escalators in Wyoming. More cows than people. And the population density is 6 people per square mile. Okay, now I want to live there. Sorry, the state is full. They don't want it to get too crowded. The unicorn is the national animal of Scotland. I'm Scottish, can confirm. Crows hold grudges. Once they identified the suspect in question, they would threaten them by diving down and swarming the person that they had felt threatened by years before. I've heard really cool things about crows. One crow that was harassed by a specific person will convince lots of crows to attack that same person if they are seen later. Conversely, if a crow likes a person, they will bring them shiny things and trinkets and even convince other crows to do the same. I once heard/read, can't recall, a story about a man who fed crows bread. They would bring him coins, rings, watches, all sorts of things. He stopped when they started bringing him human teeth. I wouldn't have/I've read about the ravens at the Tower of London. The Raven Master is very close with one, and she brings him bits of dead mice and food stolen from tourists. If you are 25 years old, apx 1/3 of the world's population who were alive when you were born have since died. If you are older than 30, you are older than half the people currently living. 50% of the world's pigs live in China. I knew their government was awful, but really? The oldest your mom joke was discovered on a 3,500-year-old Babylonian tablet. Thaus birth jiva hast sucketh on mine cock and balls. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, share the video with your friends and family, and turn on notifications to never miss a video.